OTD Nation, welcome back. Welcome back. We got a great episode for you guys today. Outside the Diamond, the show where we dive beyond the stat sheets and into the real life stories of the game. And today's guest is a lefty who, throughout his career, battled through some surgeries, made it to the bigs, tied one of baseball's strangest records, and then broke it in style, and even took his talents overseas. So from West Corvina, California to the Braves, Blue Jays, Orioles, Angels, Marlins, Korea, and even Mexico.
Órale.
JoJo.
Yep.
There we go. JoJo Reyes has lived one wild baseball journey. So we're thank you for joining us on the show and kind of letting us learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah, glad to be here. It's always fun to talk baseball.
Oh yeah, we're doing that for the next hour and a half, so it's gonna be a good time. So we like to kind of dive right in. West Corvina, California?
West Covina, California. That's where I was born. Early childhood, grew up in Rosemead. Kind of like outside of Pasadena area.
Nice.
Okay.
So when did baseball like first grab you as a kid? What attracted you to baseball?
I actually grew up playing everything.
Oh wow. Okay.
But baseball was always the love. I always went back to baseball. Played basketball, football. Only played 1 year of like Pop Warner football. But baseball was always the love.
Yeah, you got the size of play football,
yeah.
so that's why I'm like,
yeah. Everybody wanted me to play football, but baseball was the love. So,
okay.
Quarterback.
I loved playing quarterback. In like junior high, I would play like the flag football after school. So I was always a quarterback, played linebacker kind of thing.
Were you always a pitcher in baseball?
Yes,
Huh?
always pitcher. Played first base as well. So
nice. Okay.
I was able to swing it a little bit till professional baseball.
So when, you said that baseball was your love. When was that moment that you were like, this is it. This is what I'm going to pursue?
I think it got serious, right? I think 8th grade, high school is kind of when you know, like, hey, this is what I want to do. High school, I stopped playing every other sport, just concentrated on baseball.
Didn't want to get hurt.
Yep. They tried to get me to play football every single year. I said, I'll go be the punter.
It's the easiest job I say it's the easiest. It's the
one of the
most less likely physical positions.
Yeah, but if you do get tackled in the middle of a kick, it could be career ending.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it is safe. But so were you that kid just like throwing gas in Little League, striking everybody out and through high school, or were you humble?
Yeah, I was early on. I wasn't like always the biggest kid. I was right in the middle. But then high school then is when I kind of was like, we'll say freshman year, I was around 6'1", 6'2". Stood that
nice.
size. So
yeah,
hate guys.
I was like 4'11" or 4'10" in 9th grade. So yeah, complete opposite. As far as like your early childhood, I'm sorry. Do you have anybody like inspired you to push you towards that baseball dream?
my dad was always there. He never played baseball, but was always into sports. He would take me to go do hitting lessons, pitching lessons, and kind of learned everything himself and was able to teach me throughout my whole childhood through high school. So
nice, man.
And then I treat him as a second dad. His name is Robert Lanetta. He came into my life around 13, 14 years old. My dad met him. He was my pitching coach. So I worked with him throughout my whole career. From when I met him 13, 14 till my last pitch. He was always there for me. Off season, even in season when I had, questions, he would be the guy I go to.
Yeah, I mean, we've done 8 of these episodes now, and I get goosebumps like every time that there's that one guy or that one figure in one of the players' lives that kind of guided them throughout that whole thing, right? You got, you're blessed to have that man around you throughout, every experience you had.
Yeah.
So,
when I started high school, my parents decided that we were going to move to Riverside, California, which was about a little over an hour away from where I grew up. We didn't have a house yet, so I actually lived with him for half to 3/4 of my freshman year.
Wow.
So he took me in, and like I said, he was like a second dad.
That's awesome.
So he had a couple players that got drafted, and the high school that I went to was very we were very good.
Nice.
But he had a couple couple kids that got drafted pretty high. One in the first round as a catcher, Ryan Christensen. Not sure if you remember that name. He was with the Seattle Mariners. That was back in 01, I think, 99-01. But he had a couple guys that got drafted.
Nice.
But
So we're easy segue into the next couple topics here. You're in high school, and when did you start noticing scouts in the stands?
I would say after my freshman year when I started getting college letters.
Wow.
But like I said, the college I went to was well known. So, we had, not that I had college or people looking at me professionally at that point, but just receiving college letters, I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting serious. So
That's awesome, man. And then draft day happens. So take us back to that day. You went pretty high though, right? You went second round, 43rd overall.
second round,
Yeah,
correct.
that's awesome. So what was that day like for you?
So in California, we started school a little later back then. So I was still in school when the draft was going on. It's not like it is today where you see it on TV and all that. We had the dial-up internet. I had to keep refreshing to see.
You've got mail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I was actually in class when my agent called me and said, hey, Braves want to take you here. This is the amount. Yes or no? So I had to go outside and tell my teacher, I'm like, hey, I need to go answer this. I kind of gave him a heads up a couple days beforehand.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was at school when I got the phone call. It was the day before the draft. They're like, hey, this is what the Braves want to do at this number. I was like, I'm in.
Nice. Who was the first person you called?
Well, I would say my parents. I can't
Right.
remember. It's so long ago.
Yeah.
It was 2003. So, but I think we all had an idea leading up to the draft. We had a plan. So if it wasn't, I got a full scholarship to USC, Southern California, not South Carolina. But had a full ride. We had a plan. If it wasn't a certain round or money wise, then I would be going to go college and play.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
Smart.
Well, you
That's
got
fair.
your college paid for anyway, right?
Correct.
Being the second round.
Yep.
So just in case baseball didn't work,
Correct. Yeah.
that's an enticement. I
Yep.
mean, it really is.
No, it is.
To be able to do that.
I wasn't a school person growing up, so
So you,
yeah.
Well, that's great.
Well, I'm more curious how you took that phone call, had to tell your teacher, hey, I'll be back. You get the phone call. You already know kind of where you fell in regards to your signing bonus.
Right.
I know you didn't, but it'd be like the scene from a movie where the kid gets drafted. He walks back in and he's like, "Peace."
yes.
So, like I said,
Did you let him know like, "See ya"?
I wasn't a school person, so whatever I didn't need to graduate,
Yes.
I finished my exams in like 2 minutes.
Oh, you're right.
Just still in the correct.
Yeah.
So my parents probably won't want to hear this, but so even after baseball, we were talking earlier, I went into law enforcement.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had money to go back to school. My wife's like,
Right.
hey, why don't you use the money to go back to school? And, you could promote a little bit quicker with degrees and all that.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what, that might be a plan. So I start looking into it and I'm talking to a college counselor and they're like, yeah, it'll be 4 years. I'm like, I got off the phone. I'm like, no shot.
4 years.
I'm like, no, I'm good.
4 years of school.
Yeah. Even my wife's like, I'll do all your prereqs for you. Like, you don't have to do anything. I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah. It's like school's for some and it's not for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, I wasn't a role model for my kids as a student. So, every time they ask me, what was your favorite subject? I'm like, baseball.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like, that's why I went to school. I went to school to go play
to
baseball.
play baseball.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
So now you're climbing the Brave system. You get off to a good start. You're 5-3 with a 2-something ERA, and things are good. Next year, you end up having surgery.
Yeah. So, played Gulf Coast my first year. I think I won pitcher of the year that year, I think. So I was able to fly to Atlanta and get the award on the field like everybody does.
Yep.
So that was fun. Next year went to Rome. Little older guys, you some college guys, and
Right.
a little bit of mixture of people that went to advanced rookie ball and then college guys, and struggled a little bit. And then halfway through, I had Tommy John. I was never hurt. It was on one pitch. So threw a pitch. I think I was want to say I was in Winston-Salem, or I can't remember exactly where, but threw the pitch and felt a little tingle in my.
You knew it.
Yeah, I felt a little tingle in my my fingers. Threw 2 more pitches. Salty was catching me actually, and called a fastball and didn't make it to the plate.
Oh,
And I kept pumping my fist to try to get some sensation back, and
Right.
that's when trainers came out and
right.
took me out. So
Well, that's a grind. When you hurt yourself, the grind back is.
yeah,
Tell us about that.
Luckily, didn't have a family then, so spent most of my time in Florida. And Jeff Blum,
Right.
he was down there, and I think it was the first time I actually had a process of what I need to do in the off season to get ready.
Right.
I think that taught me a lot about myself, how to get ready for a season.
So was he your motivation, your encouragement through all that? Because it's a grind. to
It
get
is a
back.
grind, but I think me being so young, it was just wanting to get back. Like I never had that time off, like
Right.
a year off from baseball. So
Right.
Yeah.
from the time I started playing, I never had
Stopped.
Yeah, never stopped. So I wanted to get back. That
Yeah.
was my goal was the big leagues.
So you get back, you end up hurting your knee.
Yeah, so everything went well during rehab for my elbow. Then went to Danville to finish up. So right when I got back, I was actually throwing a lot harder than I was
That's
at
amazing,
the time.
isn't it?
Yeah, but that's just the
Well,
progress of working out.
That's right.
Getting everything strong that you
That's
didn't
right.
know could get stronger.
That's right.
Shoulder, forearms, legs.
Right.
Like I said, that's where I learned to stay in shape and
Right.
get my body ready for a season.
Right.
But everything was going well. Right at the end, when I was getting ready to go off to a team, I strained my forearm on a pitch. It's like the little top piece right
Yes.
here. Strained that and had to rehab a little bit longer. And then when I came back from that, my arm wasn't exactly the same as I left it from before that injury. I was throwing a little slower. I'm not sure if it was just me trying to hold back or, just the injury was holding me back. But I went to Danville, pitched really well, but had to learn how to pitch because I didn't have that same velocity.
Right.
So learned how to pitch a little bit. Last game before playoffs, went to go cover first. And right when I hit first, my knee blew up.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like a hyperextension, or was it a rotational?
So I didn't know what it was at first. The
Yeah.
trainers didn't know it was at first either. We didn't have an MRI right away. We tried to rehab to see if I could pitch for the playoffs. So I grew up, if I wasn't dying in my bed, I was on the baseball
Yeah,
field.
you were.
Yeah.
you were-
That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
Right. Well, my dad and Robert that was in my life, that's what they taught me.
played too.
Even at the high school that we were with, if I was sick and I missed school, I was still going to the baseball game.
Yeah.
So, that's how I grew up. So I think hubby will remember one too. I'll get to it later, but yeah, so we started rehabbing. They just thought I hyperextended it. Then I'm playing long toss and we're about almost maybe 200 feet out and land on my foot and my knee.
Oh.
And I just
Oh,
fell
man.
forward and got the MRI. Yep. Torn ACL.
Yeah.
So it was back-to-back injuries. Wasn't fun.
Now they take you right in the locker room and do a
Yeah.
MRI right in the locker room.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So they know exactly.
Yep.
But
Yep.
you were 3-1, 2005, 12-5, and then 12-1 in 2007,
Yeah.
2007.
Yeah. So
Great years.
right when I got back from those injuries, I was ready to go. Just let it go. Went back to Rome. What was that? 06? Yep. 06, went back to Rome.
Were you there with Schaefer?
Yep. Yeah. So that was his first year. Correct.
2006, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I remembered. Yeah, when he got up there, got drafted.
Yeah. But when you repeat minor leagues, you have a little chip on your shoulder.
That's
that,
right.
Yeah.
You feel like I don't belong here. And, you go out there and do your job and move on.
I had to do it every year. all the guys I played with got moved up,
Mhm.
and Hobie got sent back. And so you play with a little chip, you play with a little more energy, and you can use it or you can
Right.
it can hurt you.
It could go both ways.
It can go
You know,
both
you see a
ways.
lot of people throughout the minor league sulking
That's right.
and, let it wear on them instead of just going out there and prove people wrong.
That's great, and it's proof in 12-5 and 12-1. So, did you have any memories in the minor leagues of? Did you stay with any host families?
In Rome, I did. There was always one family in Rome that hosted somebody. So
Okay.
I did there for half a season. That was my second time in Rome.
I know being a coach in the minor league, there's a lot of host families that, whether it's food before you go on a road trip or, candies are your favorite, whatever. They
Yep.
always give you a bag. And I'm like, I want one of them.
Yeah.
But there was a family.
Yeah, there was a family that would host a player every year. They had a little apartment above their garage, had a pool table, had a futon,
Nice.
mattress on the floor, little refrigerator. So perfect what you need in single A.
Well, now you get called up. What was it like when you who told you? That you were
So
coming?
when I got called up, I was in Richmond. I think I had like 4 starts with like a 1 ERA.
Yeah.
When you're playing, you have a feeling that there's a chance. And Salty was up, and you guys were in LA actually. And my parents got tickets from Jared to go to the game in LA. And Salty told my parents, he's like, I think there's a chance.
That he's getting called.
Yeah.
up.
So, and Salty, me and him came up together. We got in the same draft. So he was like, hey, man, I think it's going to happen. So for 2 nights, I didn't sleep because I was just waiting for it to happen. And finally, I got told by Dave Brundage
Yes.
that I was getting called up. I don't remember the story. I don't remember what he did. But I got called up. I was in Richmond and flew to San Diego. That's where my opening day was. And
I think Smoltz got hurt or something.
Smoltz got
right? You
hurt.
took
So
his
funny
place.
story is I went to go check into the hotel. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got your room ready. John Smoltz, right? And I'm like, no, that's not me.
Yeah,
but-
you got my room ready? Of course I'll go over there.
It's that penthouse, right?
Yeah. Top floor. Yeah.
Checked in, and obviously I'm from California. San Diego was only about hour 15 from Riverside, so I had to let Bill know that I had about 50 tickets.
That was testy going in there and
Exactly.
talking to Bill.
Yep. So I had to tell Bill that, hey, I have about 50 tickets that I need to leave. So we told the family, I'm like, hey, this is the one time I'm going to do this. I can't do this every single time I'm
Right.
in California. So
Right.
it was one time I said, hey, I'll leave everything that I can, and
Right.
this is what we're going to do.
But what a great first start, being there close.
Yeah.
That's a great
So,
story.
yeah, it was fun. I didn't have the best start. It started off pretty good, and then Mike Cameron hit a grand slam off me, and then we went all out to dinner, had some Mexican food that night, and everybody's like, oh, man, this is so awesome. I'm just like, dude, I just had a bad start. Like, it was like,
Be the
what
athlete. I
heck?
just
but
gave
you're in
up
the
a
big
grand
leagues.
slam.
Right.
And you laid down a sacrifice bunt,
Yep.
which nobody does that
So
anymore.
I laid down 2 that day, actually.
Oh, is that right?
It was off of
Dang. Nice.
it was big lefty
David Wells.
David Wells. Yep, that's who I started up against.
Yep.
And David Wells actually got kicked out of that game. I struck him out, and he was all pissed off for the strike zone that I had compared to what he had.
Sucker.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, they never sacrifice bunt anymore.
Oh, no. I was telling my kids, I said, I used to love hitting, like go have some BP.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
even in
Pitcher's
the
batting
games.
practice was a great time.
I-
It was fun.
The one I remember is we were in San Francisco. I hit 2 in the Bay, and I got a standing ovation from the fans.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember me hitting BP, but I used to love hitting BP. I could hit them out. There was one story. We're at Turner, and Chipper's getting ready to hit because he was the group behind us. And he goes, man, you're not that good. He goes, hit a home run to left field. Boom, hit a home run to the left. He goes, hit one to center. Took me 2 times. Boom, homer to center. He goes, now hit one to right. He goes, I hit one to right on the first one. He goes, man, you're not. He used some foul language, but he's like, man, you're not that good. But I used to love hitting. I was going to go to college to play first base and pitch. So
Right.
You had to know how to hit, anyways.
yeah. So I enjoy hitting, and
Oh, yeah.
my brother is back home. It just started a men's league, and he goes, "Hey man, we need a pitcher." I said, "I retired from pitching. If you want me to play, I'm hitting."
I'm DHing.
Yeah. I said, I'm on the DH, and then I need a designated runner as
Oh, yeah. Well,
Well, I've always asked him. It's just amazing. I just don't understand as a pitcher. Most pitchers don't hit, which you would think, thinking like a pitcher, that it would translate and you'd be a really good hitter. But
Well-
most pitchers don't.
some of your best athletes in high school were shortstop pitchers.
that's right.
Yeah.
So they had it's a lost art because you have in order to hit, you have to do it every day.
Right.
So Otani is a one-off where
Yeah.
Generational
do
talent.
both.
He's
Yeah,
not
correct.
Yeah.
normal.
Right.
And my wife's like, "See, you could have hit." I'm just like, they paid me to pitch, so I concentrated on pitching.
Pitching.
Right. But most good hitting pitchers, what I learned, went up to the plate to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got your other ones. They're taken.
Yep.
They're not swinging. I
Yep.
don't want to be on base. The guys that could hit,
Who's
they
the-
went up there to hit.
Yep.
Mike Hampton,
Mm-hmm.
he went up there. He was wailing.
Yep.
He almost hurt himself swinging.
Yeah.
Would you
and-
say Tim Hudson was a great?
Tim. Yep.
Tim Hudson was a good hitter.
I mean, you look
Yeah.
at his stats over at Auburn, and
Mhm.
unbelievable stats.
Yeah.
And I told him he could have won a home run derby, and you probably could. There's a
Yeah.
lot of pitchers that
Mhm.
probably could, because they just had that swing.
Yeah.
And Keel, but Keel
Ankiel.
had to teach
Oh.
himself because remember he lost
Yeah.
it
Yep. He
in one of
lost
the
it.
games, had to
There's
go back
actually
down and come back up.
there's a story on him. I don't know if it was Netflix or ESPN or what, but
They did it. They
he
did a
talks
story
about
on
it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
to
there's a
me that's a
documentary on
true
it.
athlete.
You mean when he lost it?
Yep. They talk about everything.
It was in the playoffs
Yep.
against us,
Mm-hmm.
against the
Yep.
Braves.
They
and
show
Tony
it.
La Russa,
They show it, and he's actually talking about it.
really.
Mhm.
And they took him out of the game after he, And then he comes back and he plays for the Braves.
as an outfielder.
And Chipper used to say, "It's a shame that a pitcher's got the most pop of anybody on this field."
Oh, he would say that when Ankiel would hit, he said it was the most power he had seen.
Yeah,
Because
he hit.
obviously difference in BP power, game power.
Right.
But he said Ankiel BP was just bombs.
I remember
Big pop.
when I first got called up, Maddie, he was in the outfield shagging and goes, "Dude, I thought you were McCann and you got rid of that little toe tap."
That's a compliment.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I said, I enjoyed hitting. In the minor leagues, you don't hit until AA. So, that doesn't, you don't do any hitting until AA. And then once I got to AA, I enjoyed it again.
Oh, yeah.
Get to hit once a week or once every other week.
Yeah.
And, I think in AA, I had a couple doubles off the wall and, I enjoyed it. And then
Right.
I didn't get a home run in the big leagues. I missed it by about a foot or so. I hit one oppo in Philly. We had a long rain delay.
At the new ballpark?
Yep, at the
Yeah.
new one. So hit one off the top of the wall, oppo.
Were you
But-
inside out swing or were you
Yeah, that's
naturally
how
pull?
That's how I was taught.
Inside out?
correct.
Okay, so that was your natural swing. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people think lefties are all
Yeah, even
Pull.
today, I coach my son and
stay
hey,
inside.
stay inside,
Yeah.
stay inside.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm the same. I'm a lefty, so everything's inside out
Yeah.
naturally.
yeah, I enjoy. It's funny because I enjoy working with him hitting more than I do pitching.
Your son,
Mm-hmm.
he got solid mechanics.
Well, he does. His mechanics, swinging wise, are there.
Mhm.
He's a little smaller for his age right now. He's 13, going to be 14 beginning of September. But he's smaller for his age. But his mechanic, if you go watch him play, he's like, what he's doing.
Mechanically
yeah.
sound, yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
So
Right.
as long as obviously he's going to grow at some point. So as long as I could give him all that, then it's going to be free range once he gets a little bit of
yeah.
size.
Yeah. And
Let's
once
hope-
you get the mechanics and you see the ball longer when you stay inside the ball
Yeah.
instead of trying to. I was a dead pull hitter. I mean, with the analytics now, they would have put the shortstop in the hole, and I would have never hit in the minor leagues because I hit everything right there. But you know, that's good.
You still on you?
You go from the Braves, Toronto.
Toronto, correct.
Mhm.
Yep.
How was that changed?
So I enjoyed
American League.
Yeah, the beast of the East. But so I tore my ACL. That's that year of 2010. We're opening day for San Diego, and I think Jurgen started that day. We had a long bullpen day. I think it was San Francisco a couple days before, and they called me in to come in. Bases loaded. I gave up a little base hit. Went to go behind third. Ball got behind. I come up throwing to second, and my knee buckled. But like I said, when I grew up, I tried to hold everything in because I don't want to let team down, don't want to let players down, whatnot. So I knew something wrong was with my knee, and I ended up throwing 3 innings on it. And probably wasn't the best thing. But when I got so we had an MRI when we got back to Atlanta, and they just said, it's a little hyperextension. It wasn't really nothing wrong. So I rehabbed for about a month. Came back when as soon as I got back, they sent me down to AAA. Got traded halfway through, right at the All-Star break, I believe. Got traded to Toronto. Had an entrance, or I pitched, had an entrance physical, and they called me into the office. My first start, they sent me to AA, and first start with Toronto, had a no-hitter going into the 9th.
Oh,
yeah, in AA. But you go back.
Yeah,
like I said, I've been in the big leagues, been in AAA for a few years now. You go back to AA,
You're pissed.
Well,
I don't. Yeah, well, you think I don't belong here, and
Right.
I'll show these little kids what I can do, and had a no hitter going into I think the 8th or the 9th. I can't remember off the top of my head, but so called me into the office a couple days later, or no, had the entry physical, had one more start. They called me into the office. I thought I was getting called up, like I had a good start and throwing well, and thought I was getting called up. They're like, "Hey, you have a torn ACL."
Oh,
I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I've been pitching the last 2.5 months. How do I have a torn ACL?" They're like, "Well, your MRI showed that you have a torn ACL."
and you'd been pitching the whole
Yeah.
time.
So what really happened was they just called it a failed surgery the first time because it didn't hold properly. But I was like, no. So I was kind of shocked. So I called my agent. I'm like, hey, what the heck can we do here? I'm like, I've been pitching the last 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and there were signs that my knee wasn't, 100%, but I didn't think it was torn.
Right.
So I was like, we decided like we want 2 other opinions. So they flew me down to Florida, saw the team doctor. He's like, yeah, you have a torn ACL. I'm like, well, I want to go see Dr. Andrews. And saw Dr. Andrews, and he's like, yeah, you have a torn ACL.
Oh my.
So yeah, so that year was a wash. Ended up rehabbing the rest of the year, get ready for spring training, basically.
Yeah, but that just tells you how grit and determination you can pitch on that.
Right. I coach youth baseball nowadays, and you don't see that nowadays. That fight. There's some kids. I'm not going to say everyone's like that, but
Right.
they have to feel 100% in order to play. And you go ask a big leaguer, hey, when's the first time when do you feel 100%? They say day 1 of spring training.
That's right.
after 3 months off.
Yeah.
After
That's
that.
right, because after the running the first day, next day you're sore.
The spring training, you're dealing with shin splints.
That's right.
Soreness of just being on your legs every day, arm sore, back sore. Just getting.
You're gonna get
back
beat
into
up.
it.
Yeah, there's
Well,
strain and stress.
to make the highest level, you have to be able to overcome a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I see kids get hit with the baseball. They're out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You just got hit with the baseball.
Yeah.
So,
That's why I'm trying to engrave into my son.
Yeah.
He does well when he gets hit. He just goes to first base.
Yeah. Right.
That's good. That's the way it should be. So something that's a weird streak that we, probably don't enjoy too much. I saw you grimace a little bit when we brought it up in the intro, but 28 game winless streak started when you were in Atlanta, 08, 09, and then carried through for a couple of years. So what was that like mentally? So how did you deal with that?
So when it first started, obviously you don't know when it starts, but I kind of remember the day it started. We were in Milwaukee, and I went, I think 7+ I want to say 7+, yeah. So 7+, throwing well, gave up 1 run. In the 8th inning, I walked somebody. So I want to say it's either 1 out or 2 outs. I walk somebody, they bring in a reliever. Or actually, I didn't give up any runs up until that point. I walked that guy, and they bring in the reliever. First pitch hits a triple. I lose the game 1-0. That's how it started.
Right.
Man.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's probably in that whole streak, there's games that you had won.
Bullpen blew it, or
Right. There's a lot of factors that come into that.
It sucks because as a starter, you
rests on.
see wins and losses.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I wish, obviously we can see it of quality starts, or how many times even if you have a bad start, you give up 4 or 5 runs, but did you keep the team in it?
Right.
So that was, that's how I wanted to look at it, is did I keep my team in it to give them a chance?
Yeah.
Obviously you want the win, you want the ERA and all that, but at the end of the day, if you're able to keep your team in the game, then that was your goal.
Yeah. Speaking of your team, they ever try to lighten the mood, jokes, giving you smack in the locker room about it, or were they?
In Toronto, we had some fun with it. I cut a little Rick Vaughn haircut, so pitched with it. So we knew it was going on. So we had some fun with it. I had a little Jobu picture on my. We had a 3-ring binder that we had all of our scouting reports in. And I put a picture of Jobu in there. Just, I had fun with it. Obviously, I wasn't trying to break the record, but
Right.
I mean, but that's the way I would handle something like that, right? Is I always try to find the joke or the humor in something and just have fun with it. It is what it is, and as long as you're out there doing and executing the best of your abilities, right?
Yep.
So that's all you can really do at that point.
Yep.
But then you break it.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the most balling way ever is you broke it with a complete game win in 2011.
Got him. What a way to end the ball game. Jo-Jo Reyes has won 11-1, and the teammates are there to help him celebrate.
Against the Indians, right?
Right, yep.
Right. Well, I guess then the Indians, right? But so how did that feel?
Careful.
I don't want to get canceled.
Careful. Careful.
Well, it was funny because I want to say either the start before or a couple starts before, we were playing in Toronto against the Astros, and everybody knows this. The coaching staff and players knows this streak is going, and I think against the Astros, I completed 7 innings. It was only like 70, 80 pitches, but they knew, so they were trying to get me a win. Bullpen comes in, blows it. So the Indians, it was fun. It was my first complete game. I think I had a couple complete games in the minor leagues. Not sure up until that point. I don't think I had one in the big leagues, but that was my first big league complete game, and gave it 1 run. It was a bomb. But other than that, I think I only gave up 2 or 3 hits that day.
Wow.
It was a good game. It was fun to, complete a game. Like I said, I've never finished a game, so it was fun to get that ball back from the catcher, and all the starters came out and, laughing, big hugs and all that.
awesome.
And they're like, hey, you could smile. It's like, I just finished the game, so I'm still in game mode.
Yeah, that's
so.
right.
Was that complete game of Maddox or no?
I don't think so. I don't remember how many pitches.
Okay.
But I remember the manager going, hey, you want to finish it? I'm like, yeah. So.
Good job.
So looking back now, do you see that as like a burden, or is that part of what your career molded you for,
Yeah, it gives you character.
Yeah.
It does. You have
Something we can talk about 10 years
exactly.
later on a podcast, right?
Yep.
You have to persevere, and you have to have determination. And both of us know that there were some games in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the streak probably wouldn't even started if I had that one game.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
But you also, you have that experience that that your kid at some point is going to go through, right? When he's playing baseball, and that's something that you can share as a father and as a coach, to help him kind of keep going, keep moving forward.
Just like this past season, like I said, he's a little bit smaller. He played 13U this year, and there's a little streak where he didn't get a hit or didn't have a good AB, and I said, hey, you just got to keep working.
That's right.
Just keep working.
That's right.
I said, once you give up, baseball's going to be over.
What position does he play?
He's a lefty, so he plays first, outfield, and pitches a little bit.
Nice. Good stuff.
Now, I'm curious, just with this kind of goes back to the streak, but how tough was it for you? I mean, as an athlete, was it easy for you to not want to take it out on when you pitched great games like y'all were talking about? Like a lot of those games you could have won because you set everything up, you did all the work. Was it tough for you being the teammate? And I've always been curious about that. I've never really addressed it or asked any professional pitcher if stuff like that happens where you're pitching phenomenally. Is it a tough relationship for you if your relievers come in?
For me, it wasn't because,
they did
at the end of the day, I did my job.
Right.
I can't control
what happens, right?
What they do on the mound. I remember that game against the Astros where I threw 7 really good innings. Bullpen came in, blew it. John Roush was our closer, and he comes in. He's like, "Man," he goes, "I owe you a watch." I'm like, "Dude, don't even worry about it." I was like, I should have said, "Okay, but yeah, don't worry about it." But they knew too. So
I mean, they don't go out to blow the game. I mean, obviously it weighs heavy on them. It has to.
Right.
But
we're at that level. We're all competitors.
That's
so at the highest level. So, we're not trying to give a game away no matter what role you're in. So
right. And since obviously after Toronto, I mean you wore a couple of different uniforms. So like how was that for you? Could you tell the substantial differences between the culture? Because every team that you're on, there's a difference in culture. That's that coaching staff, pitching staff, the players. You got good locker room guys. Some teams may not have good locker room guys. So how was that for you?
Just going from Atlanta to Toronto is a big difference. With the success that the Braves had, I don't think they changed much from the 90s to, until Bobby probably left.
Right.
So what I noticed right away in Toronto is just locker rooms were a little newer. Had chefs, had lunch ready. They had cooks making lunch to order. Workout wise, there was a little bit more regiment. Food wise, was a little bit healthier. So those things I noticed right away. Even when Toronto, we flew on a plane that was all first row or first class seating. All the seats went back. So, just small things, but I had no complaints with the Braves. That was the only thing I knew, so, but that was, that was the big jump that I saw right away.
Yeah. And what, so which clubhouse stands out to you as being the most fun, but also, the most supportive during all of those years?
So with Toronto, the club was a little younger, so we all kind of meshed a little bit more.
Right.
When we would go to a new city, the 5 starters would go out to dinner together. And obviously the contract guys would pay for everything.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, we would go out to breakfast together as well, and I would go pay. So, it's like I wasn't looking for a handout, but, we were just a team, and, they obviously made a little bit more money, so they could afford the $5,000 the $5,000 meal at lunch or at dinner. So, but we meshed really well. If we wanted to go grab a drink at a bar, we all kind of went together. So, I think just the youngness of the team, we kind of meshed a little better.
What was the biggest culture shock for you when leaving the States and then pitching in Korea with the
SK
Wyverns?
Yeah.
The Wyverns?
Yep.
Yeah.
공략을 하느냐.
예.
알아요. 그러나 조인성 선수가 뭐 LG 타자들을 훤히 빼고 있기 때문에 스윙 스트라이크 방망이 따라 나갑니다.
4월 MVP 대단했죠.
예. 스윙 스트라이크. 오구 삼진.
Culture was a lot different.
Yeah.
Um,
They probably
just
never
prac-
seen
just-
someone that your
just
size.
practice wise. We did spring training at old Dodger Town. But the Koreans did 2-a-days.
That's right.
So they do their defensive work during the day,
Mm-hmm.
and then at night they would do all their hitting.
Really?
Yeah. But they let the foreigners, so the Americans or Dominicans or whoever their foreigner was, they didn't have to do the 2-a-days.
2-a-days.
So,
Really?
yeah.
Huh.
So they did cater to us. When they were getting ready to go do their second one, we were leaving to go get dinner. So, yeah, culture was a lot different. They liked quantity over quality. I seen a guy take ground balls for 2 hours.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're continual.
So
Yeah.
in their
I mean,
league,
they-
do they do your pitchers bat?
No, they
No?
did not.
Okay, gotcha.
So going from that, I mean, obviously another culture shock. So Mexican League, how much different was that from Korea? And considering that you would say that the fans can tend to be a little bit more rowdy.
Yep.
El empate y tiene al frente a Perico 5-3. Rola violenta. ¡Vaya fildeo de Jo-Jo Reyes! De magia la hizo el ex Grandes Ligas. Sin ver la pelota, puso el guante en la cintura sobre la espalda y le cayó en el guante.
I enjoyed Mexico. It was more laid back.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Even with the rowdiness of the fans? Because they're passionate about their sports they love to play, whether it's soccer or baseball.
Yeah.
Super passionate.
I enjoyed Mexico. Well, so going to Korea for 2 baseball seasons
Yeah.
and trying to come back is a little tough because out of mind, out of sight. So, or out of sight, out of mind, I should say.
Yeah.
So when I came back, I didn't have an offer right away. So ended up going to a little city called Campeche. That was my first year in Mexican League and started there and did really well. Made the all-star team in the Mexican League and was starting. Then halfway through, I think right at the All-Star break or right before the All-Star break, got picked up by the Angels. So went to Salt Lake and pitched really well in Salt Lake. Did a little bit of starting, a little bit of bullpen. That's where I kind of discovered myself in the bullpen, and I was like, I should have pitched a little earlier out of the bullpen. I enjoyed it. Got a routine down. Thought I was going to get called up in September with the Angels because, like I said, pitched really well out of the bullpen, pitched well there, and didn't get called up. And wasn't mad about it just because where I started, and just glad that I was back in the States pitching again.
Right.
So I went home and told my agent, I said, hey, I want to stay with the Angels. Obviously, I lived there. It's only a 45-minute drive. The stadium's only 45 minutes away. And ironically is when I went to Korea, I actually signed with the Angels before I went to Korea. And we were talking to Korean teams before I signed with the Angels, and ended up signing with the Angels, actually going to the stadium, work out in the offseason, doing everything, getting ready for that season with the Angels. Then Korean team called again, and we came to terms with them, and the Angels had, I want to say, either 24 or 48 hours to decide, either put me on the big league roster or give my rights away.
Right.
So they ended up giving the rights away. I was hoping,
That they-
of
hoping
course,
they put me
yeah.
on the big
Yeah.
league roster.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Korean, I signed a 2-year contract with Korea. It was something I couldn't pass up family wise.
Right.
So ended up going to Korea for 2 years, coming back hard to get back just because, nobody's seen me in 2 years.
Right.
So signed up with the Mexican League. End goal was obviously to get back. So I'm playing the Mexican League to get back, not just to play.
Right.
So I got picked up by the Angels halfway through, played AAA, went home after the season. 2 weeks after the season ended, I'm just sitting home on the couch, and I see this number call me, and I'm just like, don't know who that is. I'll just leave it alone. And called back again, and I said, hello, this is the GM for the Angels. I'm like, hey, sorry. I thought it was just something about, signing for next year, getting ready for next year.
Right.
And he's like, hey, how have you been thrown? I said, no, it's been 2 weeks after the season. He's like, well, I want you to go throw a bullpen. We have some injuries, and we're probably going to be needing you. So I was like, okay. So I grabbed my pitching coach, Robert. We went to go throw a bullpen, and arm was hanging because I haven't picked up a ball in 2 weeks.
Right.
And called me back 24 hours later and goes, hey, how's your arm? I said, perfect. Let's go. He's like, all right, well, grab all your stuff, head to the stadium. And got called up for the last week and a half of the season. So, and, it meant a little bit more just because it was in Korea.
Right, to fight back.
Right. So even before Korea, I was with the Pirates, and Pirates was the only team affiliate-wise I never got called up with. So every team I was with that was here in the States, I got called up with. Pirates was the one I did not, unfortunately, pitched really well in AAA. I want to say I had like a 2 or 3 year ERA. Back to hitting, went to put a bunt down, ran to first, pulled my hamstring.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Like I said, I was very competitive even to this day, and it was a bad bunt. Try to beat out a double
Beat
play.
it out.
Yeah. And pulled my hamstring. It was really, it was a bad tear. I was out for almost 3 months.
Oh.
I probably made it worse because me being competitive, rushed it, tried to get back.
Yeah.
Rushed it a couple times.
Yeah,
and
that's one thing.
Yeah.
Cannot rush.
Do you remember which hamstring it was?
Yep, my right hamstring. So I
was
wanted
it your semi-T, or because there's 3 hamstring heads that come up?
not positive on that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've always had hamstring injuries after my Tommy John because they pulled the ligament or they pulled the tendon
they grafted.
out of, they grafted my hamstring. So ever since then, I had hamstring problems.
So now
Because they don't tell you
cadaver
that.
now,
So
don't
when I did ACL replacements, they would there were some cases where instead of using a cadaver, they would harvest either the semi-T or the semi-T with I forget the name of the other one, but you weaken the overall structure of the hamstring when you do that because you're taking a portion of it.
Yeah. So sprinting, even to this day, I can't sprint just because my hamstring would just give out.
Yeah, it'll blow. Yeah, 100%.
So I've always had hamstring issues after Tommy John. I pulled my hamstring a couple times. I think I remember vividly, I hit a double down the line off Oliver Perez. It was 0-2, and he's like, he's going to throw me a slider. I'm going to look goofy right here, but I'm swinging. Threw me a fastball and hit a double down left field line and went to go round first, and I already pulled my hamstring. So, yeah, I always had hamstring injuries.
Yeah. So before we got on, we were talking about stories. Do you have any, nothing that's incriminating, but do you have any really, really good stories either from your travel or time in Korea or even the Mexican League that you can share? Just anything, because as athletes, you always come across situations.
Well, in Mexican League, we would go to some cities, and they're like, hey, don't answer the phone if your hotel phone rings. And after the baseball game, don't go outside. It was like heavy cartel areas where, they try to take you and abduct you or whatnot, or ransom money. Yeah. So, there were some cities that, they're like, hey, don't answer the phone. Don't, go outside past dark.
How did those leagues compare to the big leagues?
It's like a triple.
Is it
it's a
AAA or
AAA.
AAA plus?
It's actually affiliated with MILB baseball.
Oh, okay.
So even if you go on MILB, you could look up
Mexican League stats,
and all that.
But is the league you were in, is that the same one that
Trevor Bauer?
Yep.
Trevor, is that the same
So
league?
he played for Mexico City.
Yep.
So
Robinson
that
Cano is balling now.
I was gonna say he
still
plays for
playing
Mexico
down
City,
there.
right?
Yeah.
I think he did. Yeah. He did like his own little, Trevor Bauer did his own documentary of pitching for that league.
It was a fun league. I had in 2017 was my last season playing. It was in Mexican League. And obviously the goal was to come back and get a job here. Obviously it didn't work out, but on that team we had Jorge Cantu, a Meziga, had some other guys that were up and down, but it was a big league team that we had, and we just rolled through that.
Just dominating everybody.
It was pretty.
That
crazy.
had to be fun.
Yep. So it was a really fun league. That year I had fun. It was in TJ, so actually I was living in San Diego, crossing the border every day, and in that league you have every Monday off. I think.
Wow, that's the way they do in them.
Yeah, talking to Horacio,
Yeah.
that's what they do nowadays.
Mhm.
But we had every Monday off, so it was either a travel day or you're at home. You get to go. I was able to go home since I lived in California. So
That's the greatest thing they've ever done to the minor leagues.
Mhm.
Every Monday off.
Yep.
It's
And then
fantastic.
what Alex Anthropoulos does for his guys too in the minor leagues, they all get I think a week off that they could go spend
That's
with their
right.
family. So
That's right.
yeah.
During the
He
season.
he was doing that in Toronto too.
They just bring in a rover
Right.
to take the place,
right.
which is great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Get to go hang out with your family for a week that you
Yeah.
usually don't have. So
That's good to hear that they do that. So, what led you to retire? No offer?
No, I think when going into that last season in the Mexican League, I told myself I wanted to be a major leaguer. My goal wasn't just to play.
That's
My goal was
right.
to be a big leaguer.
Right.
And I told myself before the year, if it doesn't happen, I'm good. I, got drafted in 2003 and it's 2017 now, you know.
That's
So, kids were getting older, wasn't
Right.
seeing them as much.
Right.
The year before, I was playing with the Marlins, and I think I only saw my family 2 weeks out of that whole season.
yeah,
So,
that hurts.
yeah, and the only reason why I was able to see them was I got called up to the big leagues with the Marlins, got designated, and you get your 10 days. So I was able to
Right.
go back home.
Right.
See, that's the part of baseball that, people don't see.
Right.
They don't see that. So us growing up, when he got out of baseball and he started coaching, I think there was 1 year you were gone for a whole doggone year because it was minor league.
I was in Richmond.
And then he went to winter. You did winter ball.
Yeah.
Came home for a week. Had to go right back to spring training. But a lot of times, this is the stuff that people don't see that's off the
Yeah.
field.
Yep.
Sacrifice, and you were still playing, but granted, the Mexican League, Korean League, whatever the case may be, this is stuff that like people don't realize the sacrifices that are made
Right.
from everybody. Yeah. So what's been your main focus since retirement? Do you still mentoring, or are you just enjoying life?
Right when I first retired, didn't know what I wanted to do. I know I didn't want to go into coaching because I did not want to start at the bottom again, take those bus rides. I didn't want to leave the family again. So that's the whole reason why I stopped playing.
Yep.
Looked into, talked to my agent, talked to him about possibly going into agent, being an agent. But he said it was a long time being away from the family as well, recruiting, whatnot. So I was just like, okay, that's not where I want to be. Looking to opening up my own gym for baseball, facility wise, coaching, and just kind of looked into the business. Didn't enjoy having to put all that money up front and not know how the business was going to go.
Right.
Big risk. Yep.
Yep. And luckily, COVID was right behind that. So luckily, I didn't get into that. But went into law enforcement. I read books about, I was always into Navy SEALs, military, and into law enforcement. So I took a jump into law enforcement.
That's great.
So just a standard. We're briefly touching on it.
Yeah. So went through the academy. It's a 6-month academy.
Mhm.
Got my butt beat. It was the kind of training that I was never used to. But had fun. It was hard, but with my mentality, I was never going to give up. So
Right.
no matter how hard it was always I'm going to graduate. So the school part, I was kind of worried about the school part of the academy, but it was a lot of common sense. So
Yeah.
I wasn't a book person.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a book person. So, everything, it was just common sense of being a cop.
Right.
So,
De-escalation.
right.
Stuff like
Talk to
yeah.
people like they're, human beings and, treat
Yep.
everybody the same kind of thing. But, the physical part, I was worried about running. So every Friday we did a long run. I ended up running 10 miles at the end of our stuff. So
Yeah,
it
they
was
make
long.
you guys run.
Well, you didn't have to if you'd had to sprint, some kind of sprint.
Right. So we did. There is an obstacle course that that they test you on. You have to jump a 6-foot fence. You have to run an obstacle course. So I was very nervous just jumping over a 6-foot fence and landing on my knee. It's 2 surgeries. So I'm a little nervous, but got through it, no problem.
Nice.
Passed through with flying colors in the academy. So I didn't get picked up I didn't go the normal way of going through law enforcement. Usually you apply, somebody hires you, puts you through the academy. Since I had school money with the draft and all that, the way you could put yourself through the academy and it counts as college credits. So I put myself through. It was the quickest way I could get hired as a police officer or
Without going
a
through the
deputy.
red tape.
Yeah.
Right,
So, so I put myself through, going through the hiring process as I'm going through. So, had a couple of interviews. The second one was with Riverside Sheriff's Department. That's who hosts the academy. So went through them, got picked up by them by graduation. So I was affiliated with them, became a deputy sheriff, started my law enforcement career in the jails. I was
Usually how it works for sheriffs, right? You
Yep.
start in the jails. Yep.
Yeah. So I was in there for 1.5 years. At first I was like, yeah, this is fun. And then, at the end, I was like, okay, I'm done being in this jail. So what really got it for me was, it was like, I want to say it was right around New Year's Eve or January 1st. I'm in the hospital for 12 hours babysitting an inmate that was in the hospital. And I'm just sitting by myself in the hallway on a chair. And I'm like, I'm done. Like, I couldn't take it anymore. So I had a friend that was at the local police department. And right when I graduated, he's like, hey, man, we want you over here. It's like, hey, they gave me my first opportunity. I just want to
honor that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hit him up when I'm in the hallway hanging out with this inmate. I said, hey, I'm ready. He's all right, put your app in. He goes, I'll get it all through and you'll be good to go. So after that, I applied and then made the switch to the police department. So police departments go straight to the field. So right when I get hired, start in the fields, you start another 6 months of field training.
Right.
So that was tough. They treat you like a rookie, just like
a
in
rookie.
Yeah, just like in baseball. So, but the cool thing was at the time, he wasn't the head of the PD yet, but he used to play baseball as well. He played with Piazza. He wrote in Piazza's book, there was a fight in the minor leagues, and it was with him.
Really?
Yeah. So,
So you had that in.
yeah. So he's at the top. He is now I don't know why I can't think of the name right now of his role, but he's the head guy at the police department, the chief. There you go.
Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the chief now. Every time I saw him, we would talk baseball, and other people would be like, "Hey, man, that's a chief, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're just talking baseball." Like, how do you just talk to baseball? Like, I was like, once you're in, once you're in the
kind of
fraternity,
a family. That's right.
Once you're in the fraternity, you're always
It's a
in.
small fraternity too.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it last week. 21,000 players have gone through MLB since 1867.
20,976 since its inception.
Crazy.
So, and then you're working with one guy,
And you're less than 1% of the less than 1% of less than 1%.
So your chief fought Mike
Piazza.
Piazza?
who won?
Is your chief a big
So,
guy?
My chief is a huge guy.
Oh, okay. Because Mike
he has
Piazza,
some stories.
he's put together.
Yeah, he's has some hand-to-hand combat stories of when he was a young police officer.
And
so.
your draft money paid for.
Yeah, I didn't even use a lot of it, but
That's phenomenal.
But
though.
yeah,
After all those years in baseball, to be able to go back and have it pay for it.
It's awesome.
That's
So when you
fantastic.
outside of the field work, I know that there are kind of different avenues that you can get into within LEOs.
Yeah, so I when I started, went straight to the field.
Yeah.
Patrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Go through your training, whatnot. second week or second month into training, we were in a shooting.
Oh,
Yeah. So we got a call that there was a shooting at an apartment complex. And so I'm with my field training officer and the guys in the beat. So we're about, I think, I want to say 4 of us were there at the apartment complex. We all pull up, kind of get a plan together on what we're going to do as we're walking towards the apartment that we got the call from. We hear another gunshot go off. So now we're running. And me and my field training officer go towards the back of the apartments just to make sure no one's running out.
Right.
And the other 2 are kind of walking towards the front. So we see that nobody's running behind the building. So we go back, team up, and we're kind of in a single file line. I'm the 4th one in line. And, you know, in the apartment complex where it's like the big square opening and you can either go upstairs or there's a downstairs. So this guy's walking out. He has a rifle in his hand. Just a bolt action rifle and a briefcase in his hand. And the lead guy's giving him commands like, hey, drop it, drop it. And we start fanning out of the single file. And the guy kind of turns away from us and then goes back to us and points the rifle at us. So while we're fanning out, the 3 guys in front of me are able to shoot, but I wasn't able to shoot because my field training officer was right in front of me. And I was kind of kicking myself at first. I didn't know that why I didn't shoot. Like everything's happening at so fast.
Right,
and I'm like, how come I didn't pull the trigger? Like I was kind of like,
Did you panic?
Yeah. Like, did I panic? Like
Right.
what happened? And luckily we have the body cams and we're able to go watch and study film. And actually I was on target with my gun. And right when my training officer crossed in front of me, I pulled away. And
What you're trained to do.
what I'm trained to do.
Yeah.
But you know, at the time it happens so fast, you don't know what's going on. And, you know, you start hearing people going like, hey, the rookie didn't shoot. So, luckily I didn't, or else
You'd have shot.
I would have shot him right in the back of the head.
right.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm glad I was able to watch it and know exactly what I did.
Well, you know what's amazing is that's why they interview people and they'll ask the same question over and over and over again. And you read books about police officers, CIA stuff, that you can see stuff and you go through an experience, but then when you try to go back and recollect it, if you
Really
didn't
hard
have
to.
that film, you wouldn't know why you
Right.
didn't. But then you're trying to fill in bits and pieces of that story.
Yeah.
It's amazing what the mind can remember, but then also what it
But
cannot.
I also remember when he goes down, I also have my sight on his head. So if he was to, because when he fell, the rifle was right next to him still.
Right.
And I'm probably about 5-10 yards away from him. And I remember vividly having my front dot right on his head. So if he grabbed that, I was able to shoot.
Right.
So, you know, that's what I remember.
Wow, that's a different energy. You
Man,
know, you get energy
goosebumps.
ready to pitch,
Yep.
and that kind of energy is like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, have a big adrenaline dump after.
Oh,
Yeah.
They put us in a room or we're all separate, so we can't talk to each other. And
So you can't collaborate your
correct,
stories.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember it. So they give you somebody else in the police force to hang out with you that wasn't involved in the situation.
right.
And I am absolutely freezing because you have that adrenaline dump.
Yep.
I have a jacket on and I'm just freezing. So
Your CNS was fried.
Yep. So they go through the whole interview process. They take a picture of what you're wearing that day. They check your gun to see how many rounds you got left in your gun. So they do the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
The guys that shot get a few days off. They told me, hey, since you didn't shoot, you know.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah. They were like, well, they gave me an option. And, you know, knowing me, I'm a competitor. I don't miss days. So
I'm back.
I'm back. I go back and right into the field again.
Yeah. That's it.
So now you just working with kids, or
So now, so after COVID, me and my wife, since we played out here, we always said that we wanted to move back to Georgia.
right?
And COVID out there in California wasn't very fun at all.
Right.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So we kicked around like, hey, let's go check out Georgia. So we flew out here March of 2021. And we're like, let's go drive around, see what we like, and we had a couple of cities in mind, Forsyth and Cherokee, and I found a golf community that I really loved, and I said, this is my number one. And we go back home and we decided, like, all right, we're going to pursue this. And July of 21, we ended up moving back out here.
For you. Good for you.
Yeah. So wouldn't take anything back. Of course, miss family. Family comes out and visits, but I think it was the best move for the family and the kids.
If you never got drafted by the Braves, would you have come back and pick Georgia anyway? Or did that have a tie to you? That
I think it had a tie to me
Okay.
just because, when we were out here, my daughter was born out here.
Okay.
Family lived out here when I was playing. So we were able to just see the difference.
a lot of great memories
Yeah.
here then.
Right. And then
yeah.
from 18, when I got drafted in 2003, I was 18, and I spent my adult life on the East Coast or the South.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get accustomed to how life is out here.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a state in the Southeast, it'd be Georgia as well. So.
But yeah, where were we at? What were we just talking about?
I'm going to piggyback. You said you found a golf community.
Yep.
So, how do I stretch? Are you better off the tee? Or are you better with your mid irons? Or are you better with your short game?
Depends on what day it is.
I know.
Wait a minute.
every golfer is going to say that, but some people are real
He's a
super confident.
He's a pitcher, so he's got to be good at golf. I haven't met.
I don't play as much as I want to.
Right.
So I am working right now. I work in sales, work for Window World. So I do sell windows. I go, they give us appointments daily. So I go house to house.
Right.
Yep.
I work with Chuck James.
Chucky.
Yeah. So when I moved out here, Chuck James and I came up through the minor leagues together. Still kept a good friendship. And I told him I was moving out here. He's like, hey, man, don't go back into law enforcement. Come try Window World. He's been with Window World right now for about 12 years. So made some good money. And he's like, come try it out. If you don't like it, you go back into law enforcement. So
Right.
tried it out. I love it. Make my own schedule.
Great.
I could talk to people every day.
Right.
Doesn't bother me. So
Yeah, people don't think that in sales that if you have a naturally welcoming personality, then sales is a good way that you can kind of set your own schedule. But you have to have that routine. You got to set that routine. That's where it falls on you. But yeah, dude. So window sales. That's
yeah.
I've always read into window sales because that's it's
I-
surprisingly expensive.
Yep.
For
So
for
yes,
windows.
it's not a
Yeah.
it's not a fun buy.
Right.
As a homeowner, I can relate to the other homeowners. Be like, I know you're going to spend this amount of money and you can't go 90 to 100 miles an hour in it. But it's something that every house needs. At the end
Right.
of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of
It's a
the
must
day.
have. I did commercial window install back in my younger days. That's crazy. So
Yeah,
you got
I bet.
200-pound windows, 2 suction cups going up on a scissor lift and trying to install it. I don't miss those days. Not at all. Not at all.
So 3 handicap.
I wish. Like I said, I don't play enough.
Right.
I hope to get out there once a month. My son plays baseball. I teach him. So between work
And then being
and
with
baseball
him.
practice and the weekends with baseball games, I'm
Right.
with him. But my son and my youngest son, they are heavily into golf right now. So my youngest son enjoys golf. That's what he does. When he was younger, he played baseball. I think it was more because his dad and brother played.
Right.
But he got into golf when we moved out here, so he plays at the country club. Today they play 9 holes today with the juniors and go play 9 holes with them. So
It's a great sport.
yeah. So I want to play more. I would love to play more.
Well,
Yeah,
we gotta set
You
up a
can't.
time.
I mean, it takes 4 hours.
Yep. So I played last week. Last week we were up in Cherokee with the company with a work summit, and we played at Sequoia National up there. Nice golf course. Actually played pretty well. Lately my putting game has been pretty darn good. So I switched to a mallet putter, and it's really helped.
Well, he plays with my brother, and then he'll call me and be like, Mike, how'd you stripe him today? And I know if he's had a bad day where he's like, there's silence. But if you ask him like, hey, how'd you do? son.
I don't say that often.
Oh,
No,
with Jamel
I've
here
been
last
blessed.
week.
I hit it straight.
Yeah.
Jamel, we had him on last week. He's a scout with the Oakland A's. We were talking about playing with a foursome, and then he hasn't chirped at all. And then he's like, "You still got a horse you can ride?" just taking his dig, and he's really really good. He's really good.
No. I try to hit the fairway, not long,
Mhm.
and I try to hit the green.
Yeah.
And then if you can two putt,
You're par.
it's easier said than
Yeah,
done.
way
We
easier.
both know that.
Even my dad. Well, my dad was out here a couple weeks ago, and since my two younger ones have been in golf, we watch it every weekend.
Right.
My dad's like, "That's easy. The ball's not even moving 90 miles an hour."
Oh, uh-huh.
He was joking, but
Well, that's what everyone
Yeah.
thinks. The ball's not moving,
It's just sitting there.
Yep.
but you have to hit it clean. But you hit a certain way, it's going to draw.
Yep.
Well,
Another way,
You can be
it-
off just a little here, there.
Even your grip's off. If you're
Yes.
holding it a little bit tighter on one hand, you're gonna hook.
That's why it's a-
yeah.
It's
So
a
you're
great
lefty.
game.
Do you play fully?
I play full lefty.
Which McCann plays
I think
right-handed.
McCann
McCann
plays
plays
right-handed.
right-handed.
I do half and half. So I from driver down to about a 7.
Yeah.
I play
Then he goes to
lefty,
the right.
and then I play right-handed. 8-9 pitch wedge putt sand wedge. He wants me to try and play an entire round right-handed, and I'm like, my driver and those other clubs, I just feel more comfortable
Mm-hmm.
lefty. But as I get down to 8,
He's
9,
he's more muscle left-handed. Right-handed is more control, which is
Right. Because it's not his dominant side.
in the game of golf, control's better.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you try to muscle balls, it just
Oh yeah.
goes, it goes offline.
well, I don't know. I just feel, even though I switch hitter in baseball and softball, I don't know, something about the way following through and then the rotation for your higher clubs like the driver and everything.
Mhm.
Right-handed just feels way more comfortable putting, and then with flop shots, all that stuff. I don't know.
So does your son have a changeup?
So that's gonna be his best pitch is his changeup. We just started introducing the curveball I think last year. So
Right.
But like I said, he's the smallest one. He doesn't throw it hard. So yes, I taught him the sinker or the two-seamer, spot up, get ahead, and let everything else work.
Well, we talked with Leo on here, and location.
Yep. I call pitches. They're still 13, or last year they were 13, so I still call pitches for them. And they're like, "You need to throw more curveballs." I'm like, "Get ahead."
Right.
Who said
Well,
that?
The kids.
One of the greatest left-handers of all time, basically fastball, changeup.
Yep.
Tommy Glavine.
Yep.
He threw
Changeup.
curveballs, but he just to get the
Just
hitter
the
to
wrinkle.
think, he's got a curveball too. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's
No, I'd say the changeup's the best pitch in baseball because
Oh, yeah.
arm speed stays the same.
Oh,
Everything looks
yeah.
like a fastball, and it's
Yep.
just 10 mile an hour.
if
slower.
you can throw this and fastball counts for strikes. The hitter's looking fastball.
Yep.
You throw low ground ball.
Mhm.
Boom, boom.
So you more a standard change, or I always ask him this: standard or a circle?
It's a little hybrid of both.
So your grip on
Yeah,
how you
so
hold.
it wasn't like a full circle. I was kind of like a C, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
I kind of developed it just playing catch.
Right.
What felt comfortable, how it came off the hand, how I could be more consistent with it.
Yeah.
Once I tucked that in a little bit, it didn't feel as comfortable. So
Mhm.
it was kind of a hybrid. I kind of I don't teach it because, it was just because that's what felt good to me.
That's a feel pitch anyway. Leo talked about Smoltzy. Didn't have a feel for that. So
Game
Splitty.
split.
split, which is nasty.
Yeah.
Detrimental to anybody who's facing him.
Yeah.
Hey, did your
Yeah.
changeup Did you fall so in on
Yeah,
lefties?
it would dive away from a righty.
Okay. Yeah. Because I know Maddox always talked about pressure pitching. Everything he did, it was either like he could like fastball, he make this way. Same thing with his off speed. So I'm always curious about that with pitchers.
Yeah, I messed. So towards the end of my career, I was throwing a cutter. That's when the cutter kind of
Right.
got popular. You know,
Right.
it goes through stages. When I came up, it was sinker, changeup,
Right.
slider, get ground balls. Right now, it's how hard I can throw and how many guys can I strike out.
Yeah.
But when I was coming through, it was pitch the contact, get a ground ball, get out of there.
That's right.
So I'm teaching that to the kids now. Like, I don't care how many strikeouts you got. Give me like 4 innings, 5 innings.
That's right.
So I get a little. So coaching my 13-year-old, he'll be 14 in September. But so next year I'll be coaching the 14 team. I get a little bit of parents be like, "Hey, you should have taken the kid out." But like my thing is like, hey, if they don't learn how to get out of trouble now, they'll never learn how to get in trouble. So
They're gonna expect you.
right. So I leave a kid in there. I don't care if there's errors, as long as he's throwing strikes.
Right.
So my mentality of, obviously there's so much. You play a tournament on start Saturday, Sunday, and you only have a certain amount of pitchers. I'm like, so if this guy's throwing strikes, he's going to go in there. I'm like, why am I going to burn more than 1 pitcher or 2 pitchers, 3 pitchers in a game when I don't have to? So I don't know. I kind of run my my junior team just like the big leagues. I don't say much to them. I hang out. Don't give them any signs. Obviously, I'll give a still sign to the kids that could still. I don't put many hit and runs on. I don't put many bunts on. I'm like, just go play. Relax.
Do you let them green light as far as stealing bases? Because everybody steals.
So
or do you have do you have a red light?
Yeah, so I have to give the sign in order for them to steal.
Okay.
Good. I had to adapt a little bit too because now we're 60-90, so field's a little bigger.
Right.
Can't get to second base as fast anymore.
Right.
So not everybody could steal now. Back in 12U where the bases are a little smaller, everybody could steal. So I had to pick my spots. Pick 0-2 or head in the count. I'm stealing, and
I think managers ought to do that with kids. I hear, well, he's got good instincts. No, he doesn't. They're 3 runs down, and he's trying to steal second in the last inning. He gets thrown out. No, you got to make outs at the plate.
Yep.
That's where you, as a manager, you got to feel this is going to be an off-speed pitch right here. Put the steal on.
Yep.
And then at practice, hey guys, do you know why I gave you the steal right there?
Yeah. So that's one thing that
you're teaching.
Right.
Then you become a teacher.
The practice. Our organizations is so big, they have multiple practice locations. So where I and my son go to practice is in Milton. They have Winder, they have Marietta, they have different locations unfortunately, I don't get my kids every single day. So I got to work with them during the game.
Right.
Right. I'll call pitches I'll like during the game. I'm calling pitches like a big leaguer. Like 3-2, I'm giving you a change. Like if this guy's swinging, you're throwing it off speed. Like I don't care.
If he's
I'm teaching them
aggressive.
Right. I want to teach them the right way. I just don't want to teach them because I want to win. Of course, I want to win. I'm a competitor, but I want them to learn.
That's exactly right.
We had a bad game one time, and this team did it was first and third. They had it multiple times. Guy on first, take off. Our pitcher didn't know what to do, even though I keep telling them what to do. Step off, look at third, throw to second base.
Right.
And they scored. It was just it was one of those games where looks like they were in T-ball all over again.
Yeah.
And it's driving me nuts just because I know what to do. I preach to them what to do.
And they can't execute.
Correct. Yeah. So even when I told them to do it, I said, I went to go visit to the mound. I said, hey, this is what you're going to do. You're going to step off, look at third, throw, give it up to the second baseman. Didn't do it. So I'm just like, oh my God. So on top of it, we had multiple errors that game, just uncharacteristic. I don't know why I'm using that word, but it just wasn't us.
Right. Yeah.
Wasn't how the team played throughout the year. And we go shake hands. I told the guys there's a softball field that was open on the other side. I said, grab all your stuff, go to the softball field. And they were like, oh no. Like, I wasn't a screamer. Like, I'm not a screamer on the field. Of course, I'm going to get upset, but
Yeah.
I want my kids to be laid, just like the big leagues. Be laid back. That's the best way they're going to play. If somebody's down their throat every single inning, they're not going to. They're going to be stuck up and not be able to play.
That's right.
So I said, grab all your stuff. Don't take your cleats off. Go to the softball field. And they're in their heads. They're thinking,
We're gonna
run. We're gonna do something.
Yep.
Nope. I set up the first and third defensive play, and we went through it.
Which is
over
great.
and over and over. Yeah.
Over and
Yes.
over and over.
That's
So,
a teaching moment.
right.
And those kids will know.
And I'm just like, guys, I go, I'm not mad at you. I said, I don't get you guys every single day to work on this.
Right.
You guys don't go to practice with me. So when we have this opportunity to do this and we got showed up like we did, I go, I'm going to take the time after this game to go show you.
Beautiful.
So, we ran through it a few times, and the parents were like, hey, we appreciate that you did that. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, I go, I probably scared them. I go in a good way. Right after the game, we're like, oh crap, coach is going to go run us to death.
Yeah.
We're going to be throwing up or, I said, I want you to feel that way. That's why I said it that way,
Yeah.
You guys know what you guys did. So we're going to go over here and correct it.
Right. Well, that's a teaching moment.
Right.
And sometimes that's neglected with travel ball.
Mhm.
And if you do get the kids every practice, then you should work on the things. Hey, if we threw to the wrong base, let's work on that fundamental.
Right.
And that way they learn, because every kid on that field is not going to make the high school team.
Nope.
Every kid on that field is not going to go to college. Very few of them are even going to get drafted.
Right.
And so, but they can all learn the game of baseball.
Right. And like
that's the beauty of it.
in that moment, like I told him, I said, hey guys, you guys are 13 years old. I said, I played at the highest level. I don't know everything in baseball. I know a lot, but not everything. But when I could teach you guys the right way, we're going to get it done.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
And you know what? The next time that situation's there, they'll step off
yep.
and they'll do the right play because you worked on it.
Yep.
And because it's ingrained in their mind.
Right.
Well, I thought he was going to run us, but we got a chance to work on that play.
Yep. And correct, like at one point in that game, I bet we could have thrown it to third, and that third base runner would have taken off because he didn't know what to do.
Right.
I'm just like, guys, like, it's just, we have to slow everything down.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
we're playing 60-90. For him to run from first base to second base, it's not going to take 2 seconds.
Right.
So I go, slow it down. You have time.
Lento.
Muy
Lento.
So I want to ask a couple of rapid fire questions, 3 to 5, really quick, nothing crazy. I think it's to make it really cool little short. So I'm going to go through a few. Let's see. I'll go favorite stadium to play in.
Anaheim.
Favorite baseball movie.
Sandlot.
Like it. Favorite baseball snack in the dugout.
Seeds.
Best pregame meal.
Steak.
Also love it. What was your walk-up song and why?
It was a Godsmack song called "I Stand Alone."
Nice.
Just because
Yes, I know that. I know that song. Yeah.
Just because when you're on that mound, you're by yourself.
That makes sense.
Love it.
Makes perfect.
Well, that's going to do it for today's episode with Jo-Jo Reyes. So thanks, Jo-Jo, so much for being on today,
That
man.
was fun.
So this
Thank
was really cool to hear your story and, from being drafted by the Braves to battling through, a tough losing streak, but then taking your career overseas to Korea, coming back to Mexico, all the tenacity, perseverance, the passion that you have for the game really showed, and we really appreciate that. Big thanks to you for sharing everything with us. Thank you guys for tuning in. So let's not forget, like, subscribe, share. We're going to continue to bring out this amazing material for you guys to learn about these amazing guys that only 21,000 people on this planet have gotten to do. So we are very lucky with Matt and Glenn here to be able to share their stories with you guys. So on that note, we will see you guys on the next one.